What's up, everybody? Welcome back to the channel and the podcast, LessAlex Podcast, if you're listening, or just my YouTube channel. Thanks, everybody, for hanging out and rocking with me today. Today is going to be a bit of a different kind of episode. We're going to be talking pretty much solely about soccer and soccer cards, football, whatever you want to call it. Today, I'm joined by two amazing soccer card content creators and collectors, investors, whatever you want to call them. But today I am joined by Brandon Chung and Flipping Steve.
What's
Hey,
up?
yo.
So I'm really excited for this episode. The soccer card market is going nutty. It already has started to. I think that we are all in agreement that it will continue to rise. But if you guys enjoy it, make sure to smash that like button if you're watching here on YouTube. And if you're listening on the podcast, make sure to give it a 5-star review. Much appreciated. Thank you all for hanging out. What's up, Card Collector and Joel? How are we all doing? But yeah, Brandon, you have if you want to say where you're from, where your YouTube is, what your YouTube's all about. And then
I gotta plug myself in the beginning now. All right. YouTube, Brandon Chung, Brandon space Chung. I got a TikTok and Instagram, all lowercase at the Brandon Chung. I do a lot of soccer card stuff and all of that.
Yeah, absolutely. Steve?
Yeah, just Flipping Steve, as you see on the screen. That's it, plain and simple. I have an Instagram. I don't really mess with it that much, just kind of to exchange contacts every now and then. And yeah, I just talk about a little bit of everything, mail days, showing you guys more of what I'm doing rather than telling or advising people on what to do. Just basically showing you what I'm doing. And if you like it, you do. And if not, that's fine, because, everybody has their own opinions. That's pretty much what I do.
Absolutely. Yeah. And I'm excited. You guys both very much know soccer and soccer cards much better than I do. I'm very transparent with my knowledge and everything, but I'm excited to have you guys on and talk today, guys. For the viewers, for the live viewers, going to be a little bit different. Normally we're asking and answering questions from the viewers and everything. We're going to hold that off till the end. If you guys have a relevant question of something we're talking about, though, feel free to fire it off, and we'll definitely be able to get to it again if it is relevant to the topic that we're talking about. But I guess let's just dive right in. Don't want to waste any more time.
Yeah.
So how do soccer cards kind of differ from other sports such as basketball and baseball? I guess whoever wants to answer that first can kind of dig right in.
All right. Hey, I'll go first.
Right on.
But soccer cards, basketball cards, it doesn't matter. Everything's going up in sports card world. But recently I've seen a lot of the World Cup prisms and things like this go down in price. But so the main variation, like a lot of differences, is rookie card for soccer card versus basketball card.
Mm-hmm.
Because there is not, they only really introduced rookie logos since maybe 2016 or something like that. You guys can fact check me, but
yeah, they will.
Because the 2016 Topps Premier League Gold had like a Rashford rookie logo on it, and then especially with the rated rookies, that's the first time we've really seen the soccer cards have a lot of rookie cards, because not even World Cup Prism or Euro Prism have any rookie logos, and plus the English Premier League Prism, they have a lot of rookie logos, but a lot of those players are not rookies. Yeah. So you got to be very careful about the rookie card differences. That's one of the main differences, I would say.
Yeah. Steve, what do you think?
Yeah, I also feel like in soccer cards, you're always going to have the hardcore soccer people who are going to preach the stickers.
Yeah.
And you're going to have the cards. I find that people don't necessarily gravitate towards a rookie card so much in soccer as much as they do in other sports. Rookie cards are still in demand. But anything that's like parallels or first prisms, even, first kits, those tend to be just as popular, if not even more popular than what would be considered to be a rookie card. I don't know if that's based around the confusion of what actually is the rookie card. So people just kind of go for what looks really cool and a World Cup card as opposed to just a standard card, or, a prism over an optic or a prism over a Topps.
Yeah.
Well, because Prism has been king in every sport, so
Yeah.
of course it's going to carry over into soccer because people are going to go with what they know. So I feel like it's not so much people targeting rookie cards as they are just rare and neat looking cards of their favorite players on their favorite teams. It's like that in other sports as well. The first jerseys have gotten popular in basketball.
Yeah. Oh my God. The LeBron Prism with the Lakers.
Yeah, prisms, things like that. But I feel like those are even stronger in soccer than they are in the other sports, just because the rookie cards are kind of hard to figure out what is the rookie card and what am I going to buy.
Definitely. And I mean, how long Panini's had the rights? I guess since 2014, I guess to make them. And one of the huge things too is like graded, right? Because not many soccer cards are really graded. So there's a huge price bump on like PSA 10 2014 Messi, right? That card's going to be insanely priced compared to its non-graded raw counterpart, basically.
Yeah, and real quick to touch on that,
go for it.
I just sent in a huge submission of soccer cards to PSA a couple days ago, and PSA has a registry. Normally, if you type in a card that they've graded once, it'll pop up for you. You don't have to complete the listing. And as I was putting in a lot of these soccer cards, they weren't popping up. So, especially players, like Harry Kane and even some Kevin De Bruyne, Robert Lewandowski. I mean, guys like that, they haven't had a lot of submissions to PSA, so they're not constantly popping up in their database. So, getting those cards on the market right now, that's why I'm rushing my soccer order through. But there's just not a lot of graded soccer out there. And you'll find that even PSA 8s in soccer draw really good premiums.
Wow.
Yeah, that's true. In addition, like from my personal experience, I did an SGC submission like a month ago. So it had like a Leroy Sané and all these players, and I couldn't look it up in a registry either. So,
right.
Interesting.
You know what I mean?
I also think a lot of it has to do with you have some, you have a lot of overseas fans and a lot of overseas buyers, and I think it's really difficult for someone living in Europe, for instance, to send cards to PSA because it's going to cost them a lot of money in shipping and stuff.
Exactly.
If somebody wants to ship 30 cards to PSA, it's going to cost them a lot of money to ship from, England to California. So they're looking to buy these graded cards already graded. And there's just not a lot out there. So the demand is definitely higher than the supply at the moment.
Yeah.
Most definitely.
Yeah, it's crazy, the multipliers on PSA 10s especially, but yeah, it's awesome. So kind of going on that, and we got some questions in the chat, but this question that I have here kind of ties into some of the questions, and I think it'll help answer. What are some of the top tier sets to go after? Because I think that's one thing that a lot of people are, who are new to soccer cards are kind of confused with.
Yep.
But if you guys could kind of lay out the tier list, if you will, of soccer card sets.
Well, the thing is, me and Steve might have a different opinion on this.
Sure.
You know what I mean?
Well, that's the thing too, right? Is it's all going to be subjective, but
yeah, it is. Yeah, but like I would say all the Prism sets, obviously, of like some of the King sets, but specifically number 1 would be 2014 World Cup, number 2 2018 World Cup Prism. I would argue the number 3 is a Don Rush 2018, and number 4 is a 2016 Euro Prism. And another one I like is all the Topps Chrome, the Champions League, but specifically the 2017
Champions League
Topps Chrome, because it's Topps Chrome. And then 2015 Select, that's a major one as well. So that's somewhere in there. And in 2017 Panini Revolution, I've seen prices go up and very stabilized as well. I think those are
Yeah. What about you, Steve?
Pretty much, anything that's going to be like a premium type of card, going to have some kind of chromium finish. So, of course, the World Cup Prism is hot. It's the first Prism out there. I have noticed where the 18 cards have really taken off, even to the prices of the 16s. And I believe because it's a World Cup card as opposed to a Euro card, if you look at the Lewandowskis, they're almost the same price in a 2018 Prism as they are in a 2016 Prism. And I believe it's because of the appeal of the World Cup. Everybody knows what the World Cup is worldwide, where the Euro might not be as popular, even though that would still be his first Prism card. The Tops, their Bundesliga is exclusive to Tops now. So if you're wanting a lot of these young, talented players, a lot of the young guys go through Bundesliga first. It almost feels like a developmental system. I mean, you have Bayern Munich, who's a monster, but I think the league as an entirety, the quality of the teams isn't as competitive, but the top teams are just dominant. Where in the Premier League, you have a bunch of teams that can beat each other any given day.
Very true.
But a lot of young players go through there. So if you're looking for rookie cards, you can get guys like Sancho and Reina and Erling Haaland. All those guys that are hot right now are going to come out of the Bundesliga Tops products.
Okay.
Tops did have the Premier League back in like 2014, 15. So you can find some Premier League from Tops when they had the license, but for some reason those cards don't draw the value, and I think it's because they're just a base cardboard type card as opposed to
shiny.
Yeah, because you can find Harry Kane rookies. Harry Kane rookies are like in a 2014-15 Tops cardboard type card, but the 2016 Prism is the one that everybody wants.
That's a very good point. And I would say also like a Portuguese league and the Netherlands league is also great developmental programs.
Right.
But like additionally, what he said, those two leagues cannot find as many like great card products unless they make the Champions League. But the Bundesliga, you have all sorts of like Topps Chrome. But like he said, there's a Topps Premier League Gold out there like from 2013 and Futera, but nobody cares. So you have to go with the people actually care.
Yeah. And to your point with that, like one of the young prospects right now, João Felix, played in Portugal and played for Benfica or something. I believe that was the name of the team. But the year that they made the Champions League, so he does have a Topps Chrome rookie card, but he doesn't have a card in any other set because none of the card producers produced that league that he came out of. So he only had a card because they happened to make the Champions League. If they didn't make the Champions League, he still wouldn't have had a card for another year or two.
Wow.
Yeah.
So kind of to continue with that, what is more popular overall? Are the national cards, with the national teams on it, more popular than the club cards? That the teams, whenever they're wearing their club kits versus national kits. Again, I understand. I realize, that this will be also subjective, but generally, generally speaking, what fetches a higher price? Is it the national or the club kits?
Steve, if you want to take these, you go ahead, my man. Okay,
well, because of the licensing was the way that it was, you're really not seeing many club kits until now.
Okay.
The 2019-20 Premier League Prism set is the first set that you're going to get guys in their Premier League kits. Guys like, Mo Salah, who, is a big star, and Sadio Mane, since we're talking about Liverpool. But anyway, those guys are going to have their Liverpool kits in this year's Premier Prism. But every Prism card prior to that, like 2018, they're going to be either on Egypt, Senegal, the national teams that they play for, because Panini didn't have the rights to release them in their – they didn't have the rights to any league, any of the 5 leagues. So going all the way back to 2014 Prism, 15-16 Select, 17-18 Select, everything is all national kits until maybe last year's Optic product. They acquired the license in late 2018 or early 2019, the license to La Liga, League One, Bundesliga, Serie A, and Premier League. So that's why those Optics cards you're starting to see Juventus kits of Cristiano Ronaldo. Because an Optic was a back end of the year product. So you didn't get a Prism product because they didn't yet have the license. But towards the end of the year, when they're producing Optic, they had acquired the license. And that's when Topps had Premier League. They actually traded Topps for the Premier League, and Topps took Bundesliga.
Wow.
That's basically what happened with that.
Okay.
They wanted the Premier League. So when you're looking for a Christian Pulisic Chelsea card, it's going to be a 2019 Prism. Everything prior to that is going to have him as a Topps card with Dortmund, or as a select with the U.S. national team.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and I want to add to Steve's point. Hold on, my audio looking retarded.
Your audio is good now.
Oh, it's good now. Okay, but Steve, he makes excellent licensing points.
Now there's an echo.
Oh my goodness, I'm sorry, guys. I don't know what's going on. But Steve, he's got like, what do you call it? Great licensing points. But I would say right now, all Champions League, the domestic league games are going on currently. Mm-hmm. So maybe we see a boost in like the English Premier League, things like that. But wait until summer of 2021 when the Euro and the Olympics and Copa America all take place. Then who knows? Maybe now the national team kits are extremely relevant, like Brazil and France.
Mm-hmm. I'm also wondering if the Premier League Prism is going to see. Prism was exclusive to just the Premier League, so Prism was made in 2019, 2020. But you're not going to see guys like Messi, Ronaldo, Mbappe, Neymar. Yeah. They don't have a 1920 Prism card because it was just Premier League. Those guys playing other leagues. Yeah. I'm wondering if going forward that Prism is going to stay exclusive to the Premier League, or if they're just going to expand to all the leagues. I'm really not sure. I do know the license between Topps and Bundesliga was going to run out, I think, in 2020 or 2021, and I wouldn't be surprised if Panini tried to just take it all.
Yeah, it's interesting that Panini has the rights to the Premier League, which obviously, as I understand it, is the most prestigious league on the planet. But arguably, and maybe not even arguably, Cristiano Ronaldo plays for Juventus, which is in Serie A, obviously, and Messi could potentially sign. We're going to talk about that later, but currently he's playing, for Barcelona, which is also not in the Premier League. So, kind of interesting that you think they would want the two biggest stars on the planet and be able to license those products to, I'm assuming that would sell more cards. But that's super duper interesting to me. We did have a question here that was relevant a couple minutes ago. But what about Stadium Club? I'm assuming we're talking about Topps Stadium Club. Is that at all worth investing in, or is that more for fun, for collectors?
Well, I mean, Alfonso Davies had that famous 2018 Stadium Club card. So, I mean, if you see MLS products, like the MLS young players coming up and like to the Bundesliga or the Premier League, like Miguel Almiron, then maybe Stadium Club is relevant. But I haven't really seen that be too much of a popular product in the other leagues. Maybe Bundesliga might do that. I don't know. I am not like the most versed in terms of the licensing. Steve is a guy in terms of that. Yeah. Just saying.
Yeah. Steve definitely knows his stuff with
one example I can use on those Stadium Club cards and the Topps Premier Gold, they're right around the same year when they had Premier League, going back to like 2015, 16. There's a Kevin De Bruyne rookie card in there, and I have them on my eBay watch list, and they're sitting anywhere between $30 and $50, and they've been sitting on my watch list forever. But if you see a 2016 Prism hit the shelf, it's going for $125.
Wow!
And these Topps and Topps Stadium are just sitting and not even getting bought. And if you look at this Kevin De Bruyne card from the Topps Premier, it actually has the rookie card logo on it and everything. It's a really nice looking card, and he's in his Man City kit, where the Prism has him in his Belgium kit. So it's a rookie of him and technically his first Premier League kit, and for some reason people don't buy it like they do that 2016 Prism.
People are nuts for Prism, man. I think that's just kind of the way right now, which it is what it is. I've shared my opinions on quite a bit of the channel, and honestly, Select and Optic both look, but in terms of investing, if you're trying to go for that dog, I think it's very clearly, it's definitely clearly Prism, and Opt or Select. We have a question here: as cards are US, if European to get cards, will they just get the stick set of cards? I know generally speaking, Americans with the sticks, the
Yeah, Alex
European
a little bit.
Yeah, sorry, Les. It was lagging just a little bit.
I was just saying that Americans typically don't like the stickers, whereas Europeans kind of favor the stickers.
Yeah, that's a very interesting like battle. I don't know because like the way we like cards, even ingrained from the baseball card culture, that's what the European stickers have done since 70s and 80s and the 1986 World Cup in Mexico. That was like a famous time to get some of the World Cup stickers. So I mean, who knows? It depends on the European minority population in America. I mean, and plus everybody's trying to get into the soccer cards. If soccer cards is a huge premium above people's budgets, they might have to look for stickers because there's some pretty decently priced like World Cup stickers and all sorts of. There's just so much sticker product out there. So much.
Yeah, and I've kind of discussed this before, but there's a couple things that I think deter people away from the stickers. One of them, and I'll just touch on it really quickly, is that stickers have never held value here. We've always had the sticker books, and they've just never really been valuable. It's always been cards. Also, being in a world of stuff all about being graded these days, it's tough to buy a sticker in a raw state. Stickers are tough grades. They're cut funny. They can peel, all kinds of different things, unless you're opening packs yourself, which is something that we don't necessarily do here because they're not common. Now in Europe, they know the stickers, and people tend to, they go what they know. It's just easier to go with what you know. But I do feel that the popularity of basketball growing worldwide and the popularity of Prism growing with basketball is also going to funnel over into now more people worldwide wanting cards, as opposed to us changing the stickers. And I think it's going to have a lot to do with the other markets crossing over, causing the cards to cross over.
Yeah. I tend to agree, and I think also that what is probably more likely, at least for Americans, if we get priced out of Prisms, if we get priced out of Selects and Optics, then I think those Topps cards and the non, shiny cards basically start to become a little bit more desirable. And eventually, because we saw it already with basketball, the Prisms, you get priced out of Prism, then you go to Optic, then you go to Select, and then Hoops. Who would have thought, 6 months ago that Hoops cards would be selling for the prices that they are? So I could see that happening here with soccer cards as well. So cool. But moving on, I did want to touch, because this is kind of an introduction to soccer cards and really just soccer in general. That's kind of what this video is supposed to be aimed towards. So in your guys' minds, maybe say 3 to 5 players who you think are just like locks, good investment, kind of just want to talk about the top guys that you would be investing in.
Steve, if you want to take it again.
Well, a lot of the guys, unless you got some pockets on you, is going to be a little pricey. A lot of the guys that I was really into have even gotten out of the price range of where I want to continue to buy them, because, I want to buy them low and flip them. So it's tough to buy Lewandowski now when I was buying him for $8 and now he's $80. It's do I think that card has room to grow? I do. I still think it's $100 to $120 card, but at an $80 gamble, it's not really worth it. So now you're looking for that next tier of players. I still think you can find good Zoltan. I'm a butcher's last name, but Ibrahimovic. You can still get good deals on his 2016 Prism, and he doesn't have a 14 or an 18. So he wasn't in the World Cup. in 14 or 18. So that 2016 Prism is his card, and he's one of the best players. And not only that, he's a character. He's outspoken. I think his cards are a little underpriced right now. They had hit now, honestly, they had hit the $100 mark, but they've come back down to where they're affordable. And that's because, soccer is just slowed down temporarily. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. So we've seen what that card can already do. We've already seen that card can go for $100 to $120. Now you can grab them around 50 raw. Yeah. But you know the potential of the card already. So you already know that, hey, on a popular day, this is a $120 card. So I think that it's a pretty safe buy, especially if you want to grade it, because then you're going to even get more money on top of it. So I like him, even though he's up there in the $50 price range. Some guys I've been buying, Antoine Griezmann I've been buying. I bought a bunch of his. I bought a bunch. I find what I can buy that's cheap, because if something goes up in price, then it doesn't matter how much it goes up in price as long as you're making something off it. Thiago Silva is a defensive player who we were talking about earlier. Yep. He just had a transfer. Before he transferred, I didn't know he was transferred. I was buying his 14 Prisms were like 50 cents. I mean,
oh yeah.
I did. I got a whole bunch of stacks of his raws, and I know he's a defensive player, but he's one of the best defensive players of probably the last 10 or 15 years, I would say. And he plays for Brazil, who's probably a favorite in the World Cup. They're at least going to get some notoriety in the World Cup. Now he's in the Premier League, and it was a 50-cent card. So if it goes to $5, I'm looking at a good turnover, even at a $5,
10X.
So that's the type of stuff. Certain players, though, because everything's going up so quickly, it's hard to just say, hey, guys, go get this player, which is something that I never typically like to do anyway. If I had to say that there was a guy out there that's really got already has star quality, already has a concrete legacy, and he's still underpriced, I would say Zoltan.
Okay.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and I would say anybody like your established legends or getting ready to retire players, but not quite have done that, like a Sergio Ramos. If you're talking about defenders, and Chiellini for Juventus, he's proved himself there. I mean, and Sergio Ramos, Champions League. World Cup champion, Euro champion. He's got all the different, legacies. So players like this, even Arjen Robben and Frank Ribéry for Bayern. I mean, they're 2014 Prism cards, right? If they're $3-5, this is an excellent margin of safety. You have an excellent legacy. Go look on Soccer Reference. Or now all these players, Samuel Eto'o, Didier Drogba. I think 2014 Prism. I'm not recommending you buy the card. But if you look at the set, Cardboard Connection 1 through 201, these are the type of legends I should get. These are the guys with super established resumes. Ivory Coast Player of the Year, African Player of the Year. So you have to think about regional demand. You have to think about so many different factors.
So much, yeah.
But if you have those legendary players, like not necessarily your Ronaldinhos, but if you have your Steven Gerrards, Frank Lampards, these underrated legends, well, their margin of safety is going to be pretty good, right? It's going to be a low risk, but just a gradual, increase. So you got to be very, very patient. But that honestly, I want to make top 5 videos like with those type of players.
Yeah, right. And also, real quick, it also is going to depend on your length of hold. If you are looking for something that you want to buy now and flip in a couple weeks or in a month, then you're looking at some Premier League. You're looking at some Premier League stuff. If you're looking to 2022 World Cup, then you could be looking for some of these Argentina players like Mauro Icardi, because Messi may not play, and somebody's going to be out there as the leader of those teams. Who was the other one?
Dybala.
Guy slipped my head.
Yeah, Dybala on Argentina.
But Dybala, that was the other one. Yeah, and he's on Juventus, so Dybala is another good one. So, I just think if you're looking for World Cup, then to hold for a year or two, then your purchases may be completely different than if you're looking for somebody you want to turn in a month.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And so kind of going off that, we were talking about kind of the top players. Obviously, if you've been following soccer at all the last several days, all the talk is about Lionel Messi potentially moving on from Barcelona. and that could be
Yep.
huge. The biggest and most predominant suitor for him right now that everyone's talking about is Manchester City. So what could that do to his potential card prices already and future cards to be printed? Do you think there will be a high demand for, if he potentially goes to Man City, his card of him in a Man City kit? I feel like that could be pretty awesome. Pretty good card.
Yeah, I mean, most definitely, man. Like you just said, Alex, like if the Manchester City, which is $2-3 billion value by itself, like Manchester City has diehard fans, and then Lionel Messi comes to the Premier League. Oh, imagine all those Prism products and all that for just Lionel Messi. And then imagine that he has chances to be more on national TV, NBC Sports in America, right? And internationally as well. Champions League chances, Premier League chances to win those, and plus Copa America. Because based off his release clause and everything, he would probably leave on a free transfer if that happened in July or August of 2021. But if they negotiated, it would be more like January of 2021. So you just have to do more research on that. But yeah, very high demand.
Yeah, Messi going to somebody like Manchester City would be huge for his cards just because you're in a bigger market. I mean, let's be honest, La Liga doesn't really even seem like that huge of a market. You're televised more. The fans are going to go crazy. The soccer hooligans in England would buy up all of his stuff like crazy.
Yeah.
If Prism stays exclusive to Premier League, now you're talking about his first Prism in a Premier League kit. Not only a first Man City uniform, but you're talking about a first Prism that's not a World Cup. You're also talking about the players around him, guys. Kevin De Bruyne, Premier League Soccer Player of the Year, now playing with Messi. His cards. Young guys like Phil Foden would benefit from that. Raheem Sterling's on that team.
Sterling,
It's just everybody on that team would get a boost from Messi going there, not just the players
definitely
and their production, but the players' cards values, because people would just be like, just based around the hype and the fact that they could win the Premier League. Also puts that on there. Also puts them in the Champions League, which they were upset this year. They were probably a favorite in that. It would be crazy. It's kind of like, you got to think of it as kind of like Tom Brady going to the Bucks. Like
that's what I was.
Except better.
That's like the comparison.
No, it's better because Messi is an excellent tactical fit for Manchester City.
Yeah.
So he's perfect place for right wing. That is Pep Guardiola. Pep Guardiola coached Messi during Messi's prime years when he scored 70 goals in one season. I mean, it would just be the perfect fit.
That is insane.
And Aguero, isn't that his name? Aguero's there.
Yeah,
too?
Aguero.
That's
yeah,
like Messi's boy. They're like best friends.
Yeah, they're like homies. Yeah.
So apparently Messi's talking to Neymar too to try and get.
Trying to get him to go there.
Imagine.
And my boy Phil Foden won't get any minutes.
Team Hazenkaya is saying here in chat for Barcelona Messi cards. For my Barcelona Messi cards' sake, please stay, Lionel. And then he says, unless you go to Juve, LOL. So that's actually something that would be awesome for me because obviously I'm a big Juve/Ronaldo fan. And how awesome would it be to see, the best of our generation?
Oh, that would be terrible.
Messi and Ronaldo. Same pitch. Let's get it done. Get it done. That would be sick.
You can't do that. They're such big rivals. There's no way you could put them on the same team to coexist. That would be like putting Michael Jordan and Karl Malone on the same team or Magic and Bird on the same team. That would be like
LeBron and KD, maybe? I don't know.
Yeah.
Well, KD and Steph Curry, we saw what happened with that. Everybody booed the crap out of Kevin Durant. Everybody will boo Messi for going to play with Ronaldo so that he can win.
It's going to be awesome and interesting either way. I think overall, if he does go, I would think in my mind that is a win for soccer fans. Obviously not Barcelona fans, but overall as a sport, that's just awesome. He's finally potentially getting to play in the Premier League. You know, I know that there are some Messi haters that say, oh, well, the only reason he's as prolific of a scorer and player as he is because he's never done it in the Premier League.
No, that's not true.
I think all three of us would agree that that is incorrect. But no, I mean, it's interesting, man. It's like, it's like Michael Jordan basically leaving in his prime to go play for the Pistons or something, like. But no, it's fun stuff. So 2022 World Cup, obviously on the horizon, and that's kind of where a lot of people are saying the soccer card market is building to. That's kind of where you want to be with your long term, your quote unquote, longer term holds. That's where you kind of want to start to sell. What do you guys think is going to happen with is it still, are we still going up? Because we have some folks in chat saying that, the prices of prisms have taken a hit. Are we in a bubble? Is it about to pop, or is it just the fact that, Champions League just finished up? We're in the middle of off season. Obviously games are going to start up here come next season. I think Serie A starts back up and other leagues will start up as well, but are we building to that 2022? Is that going to be the peak, if you will, or are we in the peak? Do you believe? Just obviously none of us know, but what are you feeling?
Oh, Steve, you got it.
For me, okay, First to address the dip in the soccer market slightly, that is true. I have noticed it. Like I was talking about Ibrahimovic prisms earlier, dropping, from that $80 to $100 mark to where you can buy them for $50.
Mm-hmm.
It's typical with every sport when there's nothing going on, at least when the hype is over. Champions League, this stuff didn't peak until the Champions League because it was the Champions League, and now everything is dipping a little bit because there's nothing to watch. When the stuff comes back on, there'll be a Champions League next year. There'll be all kinds of stuff going on. So again, the cards will go back up. I actually look at this right now as an opportunity to buy. However, for myself, I don't plan on holding to the World Cup. I do plan on flipping a majority of what I have. I just don't like to hold. I don't like to hold anything for the length of a year or two, unless it's somebody that I know is like a Hall of Famer or something.
Mm-hmm.
Right now, with the soccer market the way that it is, even though guys like Messi or Ronaldo are Hall of Famers, I don't feel as safe holding a Messi card as I do a LeBron card, if that makes any sense. Messi is one of the greats, arguably the greatest ever. People have that argument all the time, but because it is soccer, I don't know if this is something that's temporary. I think it's long. I think it's going to last longer than, people saying, "Hey, soccer's taking a dip now." It will stay hot. I just don't know how hot, and I'm not as comfortable, like I said, holding a soccer Hall of Famer as I'm a basketball Hall of Famer.
Right.
And when you got in for a decent price like I did, I'm willing to take my profits sooner than later.
Yeah, I mean, that's a good point. And I want to add to that because I think, let's look at serious investors in America when we're talking soccer. MLS, we're talking about Will Ferrell investing in MLS. We're talking about Russell Wilson, Marshawn Lynch, Sierra. I can go on and on and on about celebrity investors. So, that tells me if all the successful people, want to buy into the MLS because the MLS is a healthy business right now. It's got great opportunity to grow then. And we've seen the growing demand go up and up each year. So I would say potentially, a Messi card could be very valuable in the future. But I don't know what the soccer card or sports card market will do.
Right.
So in that I don't know. But let's assume it does, like just kind of tailor off after the World Cup. But what if it's still a pretty valuable, like 2014 Prism and all that? What if it's still pretty valuable? Maybe I want to hold like some of those blue chips, but some of these, modern unsure players like a Foden, Alphonso Davies, I want to take my profits there if I can 2x and play that doubles game, which a lot of successful people do.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I've stated it quite a few times. I'm perfectly fine with 2x. I would Always sell a day early than a day late. It's very rare that you hit that peak. You know, if you're that person who sells at the very most expensive point, that's going to happen maybe once in your entire life. But quite often you're going to be either right before or right after. And I would be 10 times out of 10 rather be right before.
Yeah. And if you look at soccer as a whole, I mean, it blew up so quickly that there was bound to be some sort of recoil. Correction. You know what I mean? It just it when you see a $25 card going from $25 to $400 in 4 days, there's going to be a bounce back. That card is not going to hold that high. When you see the Messi and Ronaldo is going from $500 to $4,000 in a PSA 10 in a matter of a week, there's going to be a recoil. But are they coming back down to $400? They're not. They're coming back down to $2,000, $2,500. And that's with an off season going on. They're not coming back down to starting levels. And that happens. That doesn't necessarily, I mean, that happens with everything, especially players. You know, in the NBA, it may not happen with the NBA market as a whole, but it happens with individual players. If somebody has a week where they just, boom, go through the roof, they come back down.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
They never come back down to where they started, but they always come right back down. So you can relate these players in soccer to some of your top players in basketball, and you can see the same trends. So it doesn't mean the soccer market is – if you're saying the soccer market is going to crash and you're saying the basketball market is going to crash, because the trends are the same. So I personally think soccer is going to hold quite a bit of value and still going to grow, just like I think basketball will also, and the market as a whole. The soccer has become part of the market, and the market as a whole is not finished right now.
Yeah.
Yeah, and so I want to add real quick, my bad is, soccer does have that long-term future as well. So, I mean, it's very important to talk about asset classes when you're talking about, do I want to hold until the World Cup 2022 or even the 2026 United States World Cup, which could be a big draw, I mean? So it's like Zlatan Ibrahimovic and Neymar versus some of these younger players. I mean, that's a key thing. I mean, that really is. So.
Yeah, definitely. I agree. I think it's probably just a correction. I don't think we're.
Yeah. I mean, corrections are very positive for a long-term market, stock market, everything.
Yeah, in any market, exactly. It's a good time too, because that means it's a buyer's market, and that was kind of the next thing I had here. Is, I mean, do you guys think it is a buyer's market right now, with it being kind of, the Champions League just got finished. We're kind of in between seasons right here. We always, me and Brandon were talking. There is kind of no stop to the soccer world. They just basically play all year. But right now we are in an interesting time where there's not many games being played, and a lot of the leagues are about to start back up. But I believe it is a buyer's market. What do you guys think?
I think very possibly, but it depends on your budgets, right? So you have to make sure, feed your family first, make sure pay off all your, loan debts and things of this nature, all of that, get your funds straight. And then after that, potentially, so if you have $100, a week to spend, then you get some pretty cool cars. Like we were talking about UEFA Showcase and Stadium Club and all this. And there's like still possibilities. Who knows if those car prices will go up, but at least at lower entry points.
Yeah. What about you, Steve? I mean, you kind of just said it, so.
And like with me, I never specifically say, hey, it's a seller or a buyer's market, because I believe they can coexist.
Yeah.
That's true.
Because I believe that there's some cards that are worth buying, and there's lots of cards that you should sell now. So to say it's sell, or buy, I'm selling and I'm buying. So right now, if we're just talking about soccer, I like the buy in soccer. I'm buying. And I'm buying for a lot more than what I was buying when I started. I didn't quit buying because stuff went up. In my most recent video, I showed where I was buying Lewandowski prisms for $8 a piece, and I'm still buying them at 60.
Yeah.
So even though they've gone up, just because I still believe that card is really can't get much lower, but it still has room to grow. So I feel like it's a buyer's market still in soccer.
Yeah.
And
Of course.
and it's a seller's market I think seller's market kind of pertains to an individual card and not just a market as a whole.
Okay. Yeah, I mean that makes sense. So another thing that I wanted to talk about was just the popularity of some of these players. I mean, you could look at some guys that aren't even really superstars in soccer. I mean, guys that are, by no means at the level of even the second tier superstars. You check them out on Instagram, on other social media platforms. They have so much reach and so much social media following. It's absolutely ridiculous. I don't know if you guys want to talk about that if you would want to even talk about it, but Instagram following is something that I like to follow just because, we think as Americans, who's the most popular athlete in America? In my opinion, the guy I always think of is LeBron James, right? That's
LeBron.
He's got about, I believe, 84 million followers on Instagram. I could be off, but last time I checked. And then you look at a guy like Ronaldo, he has, other than Instagram itself, like the Instagram account, he has like 250 million followers. So, and then you look at other guys that are kind of not even superstars, like on Juventus, Cuadrado. He's a midfielder. He's pretty good, but he's not by no means at the level of Ronaldo or even LeBron James. But he's still got 5 million subscribers or followers rather. And you compare that to like role players on basketball, they might have like 100,000 on a good day. I don't know what are you guys' thoughts about that, and do you think that actually plays a role in all of this in the sports card market?
I don't know, Steve, you want me to take it first or you take it first? I don't know.
I'll go because I don't really have a whole lot to say. I'm not the biggest social media person, to be honest. I don't have a Twitter. I barely use my Instagram. I would be curious to know, though, because I do think popularity, social media does play into it to an extent. There's no denying that. But I would be curious to know what percentage of these social media followers are actually people that are in the card investing and stuff like that. How many are fans of them of soccer? And how many of Ronaldo's subscribers or followers are girls who think he's hot? So, you know what I mean? And so, to be honest, how many of the followers are actually people who are card investors or people that are willing to pump out big money for a card? That's just something I would be curious to know, because when you have that many followers, it's going to be pretty diverse. And I would think LeBron's followers, I think, are going to be a majority of people who love basketball, like the team that he plays for, and is going to be in some sort of sports card investing, where I think a Ronaldo would be a little bit more diverse, I think, in the amount of followers that he has, even though they're both super popular.
Yeah. I just want to say real quick, like, I do agree. Like, you have to think about the percentage. Like 8 million Cuadrado followers. How many of those people are really soccer card investors? Not too many. But my point is, if you have such a big following like Ronaldo or Messi, or like you have like 200 million Instagram followers, and let alone your highlights on YouTube have 30 to 60 million, there's got to be at least some sort of soccer card / sports card attention.
Yeah,
you know what I mean.
We have a question here. Team Hazakia says followers equals buyers ? I don't think it's a direct correlation necessarily, right? Obviously, but I know personally, guys I've been investing in, I will hit that notification on the ESPN app. So anytime they score a goal or have a big play, I'll get notified. Or I also did go out and follow a lot of the guys who I'm investing in all sports. So I think there is something to that. That is a question, I just wanted to ask you guys to see. Do you think that overall visibility
Uh-oh.
Yeah, the audio's something's happening
They're
again.
just lagging. I think an internet connection.
Yeah.
Okay. So speaking of supply and demand, that was one thing I'm getting blank. So no. Supply and demand. Good?
I got supply and demand.
Yeah, it's supply. Yeah, supply and demand.
Supply and demand is something I've thought about with soccer. Obviously, this thing that just don't make much as they do basketball. Basketball every single year. We don't have for soccer. So if you guys want to talk about that for what that price is going to be a little bit more hard. But in terms of 2014 and 2018 World Cup Prism, 2016 Euro Prism, and then Donruss. If you guys want to talk about that.
So we're talking about supply and demand on the soccer Prism print runs or over the years in comparison to basketball, maybe?
Yeah,
I didn't get the full question because you were cutting out on us.
Oh, no. But yeah. That's it. That's the gist.
Okay.
All right. Oh, you got it, my man.
So, of course, Prism print runs across the board in all sports have probably gone up over the years.
Yeah.
That 2014 set, you do see a lot of them out there. I don't think the print run was too high because, it was soccer and not a sport that's would have been considered to be one of the main four. To be realistic, up until this point here in the States, the main four have been football, baseball, basketball, and hockey. So soccer was always an afterthought. And also, because it was an afterthought, how many of these cards were left in good condition? How many of these cards were bought and chunked? Or, you got a Messi card, throw it up on the counter or anything like that. You'll see these cards are very condition sensitive. That's why the grades draw a premium. If you look at, and we were talking about grading earlier, and we're talking about not being much on the market. Well, there isn't much on the market of today's superstars and second tier guys. There is quite a bit of submissions out there on Messi and Ronaldo just because they were GOATs. And when you look at the PSA ratio rates on a 10 for a Ronaldo, it's really low. I can't give you the exact numbers, but I know I looked at it and I was like, man, it's hard. It's hard to submit a Ronaldo to PSA 10 and get a 10. So even if there's a lot of them out there, it's how many of them out there are still around, how many have been trashed, and the ones that are actually out there, how many of them are still in what I would consider to be even decent condition as an 8.
Yeah.
That's very true. And I've seen that the same thing as well, Steve. Like the gym min rates and all those rates for 2014 is a lot more difficult via 2018. And also, when you're selling on eBay, it just feels easier to get rid of some sort of like 2014 Prism than like a 2018 Prism. Yeah, I don't know the exact print runs, but I've heard it was a 2014 Prism at like around 100,000 or a bit more than that. I have no idea. But if that's the case, that's a small comparison compared to NBA 2018 Prism, like for basketball. So I don't know that I really feel like the 2014 Prism, because through Panini's perspective, no way they're thinking we should produce millions of these cards because it would just be oversaturated at that time.
Yeah.
And it's really the retail market right now that's driving these print runs. Because retail never even hits the shelves. If it does hit the shelves, it's sold out. It's not necessarily hobby product that's being mass produced. If you look at the print runs on Select, which is hobby only, has a nice print run. It's a nice card. In my opinion, it should be the card that should be the chase card.
Yeah.
Because Prism and Optic now has not only has it been mass produced because of retail, the quality control has gone to crap, for lack of a better term, because they just pump it out so quick that you're getting off-centered cards. You buy a pack of Prism, you're happy that you pull a Zion, and the thing's looking at you 70-30. You're like, yeah, how am I going to move this to? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right,
yeah. It's definitely interesting. It's going to be really interesting to see how Panini reacts because, like you said, I can't find any sports, any sports cards. I just went to Target just a few days ago to look, weekly, retail hunt or whatever. And literally they had Yu-Gi-Oh, Pokemon, Magic the Gathering stacked. I mean, you could buy for days. I look at sports cards, nothing. There was the Topps Max Attack or whatever for soccer. I bought a couple of those and just because I needed to crack some wax. But man, it'll be interesting though to see how Panini and Topps really, if they start to print more. I'm sure they will, but it'll be interesting.
Yeah, I mean, it's a business. They're going to do what they got to do to make money. Hopefully it doesn't flood the market too much. Grading is going to still keep cards valuable just because the quality control is terrible. Getting a PSA 9 and a 10 nowadays is, even though you're pulling a chromium card fresh out of a pack, you better look that thing over.
Yeah, no, exactly. And so that's, of course, interesting. We have no control over that, though, like none. So it's important to kind of take the print run numbers with a grain of salt because we literally can't affect it at all. But so we've talked a lot about basically as much as I can think of, except for strategy. One thing I wanted to touch on here as we come towards the end of the episode is what is your guys' current strategy on buying, selling soccer cards? Because it as it coming in fresh, new from other markets, from basketball, from baseball, it can be a little bit overwhelming. You guys have any tips for new soccer card collectors or investors? Just take trips to the trade, anything like that?
Based off my experience from selling soccer cards, and I've just recently started doing that because I've done basketball cards before. There's a lot of liquid out there, but my philosophy is it's a devil's game because valuetainment, Warren Buffett, Ray Dalio, every successful person is trying to play a devil's game. How can you turn $1 into $2 into $4, so on? And maybe that could be buying a raw prism card on a player you think who'll spike up in price for whatever reason. If he's a young, promising player, or you can take the other route, buying a blue chip player like, I don't know, Didier Drogba or somebody like that, and just waiting a while, right, until he becomes somewhat relevant, or Andre Pirlo because he's coaching Juventus now. There's a bunch of ways to do it. In terms of buying, maybe have a watch list of 5 to 12 players because that's similarly to the stock market. I don't know, and maybe a couple brands you like, and just study maybe 1 month for longer, right? So a lot of research, a lot of education, and you just have to listen to yourself as well, because you can hear a lot of top 5 out there and everything like this, right? Even though those are fun to watch, but it's like if you get on Antoine Griezmann and Ronald Koeman makes Griezmann a striker and he plays phenomenal, okay, now all those prices can potentially go up 2x. I don't know, you know what I mean?
Yeah, no, I definitely think all those are great things to take into consideration. The biggest takeaway from that is trust yourself. Yeah. At the end of the day, do I make top 5 videos? Absolutely. Yeah. Do I put a lot of time and effort into doing my, my due diligence and trying to figure out what is the best buys at the time of the video? Absolutely. But it is all opinion based, and it is, they're fun. They're fun to watch. Top 10, places to eat. It could be whatever. It could be whatever. But they are fun. But definitely do your own research. That is, in my opinion, the most important thing. Watch videos, highlight videos. Goals and skills videos are a great way to really see what a player has to offer. Obviously, watching full games doesn't hurt either. But what about you, Steve? What do you think are some kind of entry-level tips and tricks into getting into soccer cards?
You definitely want to learn your leagues. You want to do your own research. Don't just come on here and listen to us.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know, I'm still learning. I'm still learning. So I'm not an expert, and I'm not I'm not a investment specialist or anything. I go with my gut a lot. I just do a lot of research. I get in low risk. That's always huge for me. It's tough right now with a lot of the soccer cards really spiking up to where they could potentially be overpriced at the moment. They are coming back down a little bit, so I do see a buyer's window. If you're going to buy these Prism cards, look for lots. I know it might cost you a little bit of money out of the pocket because you're buying 6 cards as opposed to 1. Most of the time when you're buying a single, there's something wrong with it. I bought lots of Lewandowski Prisms, like I said earlier. Lots and lots of lots, if that makes sense. So I bought them in singles and I bought them in lots. So,
like that.
but when I buy a lot of 6, I tend to at least get 3 or 4 good ones that I can submit. Any card that I can submit is always going to make my money back for me. If I buy one bad card that's unsubmittable, that's pretty much a purchase I made that I can't really turn unless I put it back on eBay Raw and disclose what's wrong with it. And a lot of times I don't even like to sell a card if I have to disclose a defect. I just take it as a loss. So if I can buy 4, if I can get 4 out of a 6-card lot, that's good. One graded Lewandowski 10 is going to pay for my 6-card lot. So even though I get 2 bad ones, it's fine. I'm going to cover it. So looking at lots, especially also buying from overseas. Don't be afraid to buy from overseas. You can get them cheaper. People in the U.S. want to pay more money for stuff coming from the U.S. because they're going to get it quicker. If you can be patient and wait 2 weeks, sometimes even a month for your purchase to get to you, wait it out because you can watch an auction ending from Mobile, Alabama, and you can watch an auction ending from Taiwan. Yeah. And this auction here might go for double the price of this one. And that's because these people want their cards in 3 days. Over here, I won't mind waiting and getting those cards a little bit later. I'll take those good deals all day. So lots, don't be afraid to buy from overseas.
Yeah, that's super true. And they tend to go for less. And I actually just bought some, and this will be in a mail day coming up here whenever I get it. I don't know when I'm going to get it, but I bought 2 lots. Brandon, I actually sent you the photo.
Yes.
I snagged some lots of some Ronaldo, just some Donruss, and then I think they had some optics in there as well. But like the price of an optic Ronaldo is like $60, and I got this entire 8-card lot for what was it, like 60 or 70 bucks?
I think you said 60.
So right off the rip, as long as that Ronaldo optic is in fair shape, in good shape, that already makes my money back if I want to sell it when I get it. But buying overseas, that's a crucial point, I think. Buying overseas, you do have to,
But I will say be wary because I've been doing the Facebook deals because I get my card in the envelope, no penny sleeve, no nothing. Right. Yeah. So you know what I mean? But most of the time they are pretty fair though.
That kind of comes, I think that just comes with the territory of buying sports cards online. Because you're gonna have yes, it could happen from a foreign seller, but that's happened to me from, like Steve said, somebody from the States. That can happen. You have careless sellers all over the world. So for sure. Yeah. But being patient definitely can pay off because I think I got an absolute steal on that lot, on that Ronaldo lot.
Yeah. And also look for the players that are always going to have a market, whether it be the national or their team that they play for. U.S. players, whether they're really good or not so good, will have some sort of market. I've been going back and buying cheap 2014 Prisms of Landon Donovan and Clint Dempsey for $1.50 just because they're U.S. guys. And, when soccer takes off, especially if somebody like Christian Pulisic gets it going here again, people are going to look back and say, who have been some of the better U.S. players in the past? Not necessarily the greatest players in the past, but who specifically was good for the U.S. Because you've seen how the U.S. can drive the market of a player. We've seen it happen with Pulisic. He's getting Messi and Ronaldo prices just because he's from the United States. So if you can buy $1 2014 Landon Donovan, I think he's actually coaching in Major League Soccer. it'd be a $10, $15 card. I wouldn't be surprised if something like that was to happen.
Yeah, and obviously we were talking about before we went on, Weston McKennie, first American ever to sign with Juventus. So that's really cool. So that's obviously a guy I've been following. I know I follow a YouTuber who is all about Juventus, and he didn't even know who Weston McKennie was.
Oh wow!
Before a couple days ago. So it's just that kind of plays into the whole. There's a lot of players. There's a lot more players than any other American league or any American sport. So always be on the lookout. Do your research. I would say that's the most important thing. I would definitely say that's the most important thing. But yeah, guys, this has been hour and 5 minutes. We've been going strong. We can answer. Let's do 3 questions. If chat has 3 questions for us, if not, we'll call it a podcast. We'll call it an episode, and we will see you next time. But I hope you guys enjoyed it. If you guys want to say where people can check out your content and check out your other social medias, Brandon, if you want to start that off.
Oh yeah, and look at my name, Brandon Chung. I'm on YouTube. I do the soccer card videos, podcast, vlog. I'm trying to get that in the works, and then Instagram and TikTok again at the Brandon Chung, all lowercase. Yeah, I just try to have fun with it. I try to give people good advice, blue chip cards, all of that.
Yep. Steve?
Yeah, just flipping Steve, like you see, plain and simple.
Yeah.
And, I just got the channel. I'm finally approaching 1,000 subscribers, so that's pretty
congratulations.
Cool.
Let's get him to 1,000.
Hopefully it comes within a week or so. I have a nice giveaway I'm ready to do for it. I'm always trying to give back to my supporters because I do really appreciate it. Whether or not they get some education or to get some entertainment, I've loosened up on camera to where I'll act stupid just to try to get somebody to laugh at me from now and then. I remember when I was a jabroni sitting there hitting pause on my camera for 20 straight minutes because I didn't even know how to start my video up because I was scared with my introduction. So it's become fun, and I just talk about what I'm doing basically. I don't tell people what to do, and I just show them what I'm buying, what I'm selling. A little bit of everything, all the sports, even golf, even tennis, whatever. And I'm just having fun with it right now. So, yeah, as long as it lasts, as long as it stays fun to me, that's what I'll continue to do.
Absolutely. You guys should all go check their channels out. Tab on over. The links are in the description already, so you guys can tab on over, hit that subscribe button because they both put out very interesting content. So check them both out. We do have 3 questions here. Gaming God LJ asks, what do you think about going to FIFA and checking out who the best potential for soccer? You mean the game?
Yep.
Into the game?
Yep, a lot of people do that.
Yep. A lot of people.
Legit.
Yep.
I hadn't even thought of that.
That's the thing. You go to footwiz.com career mode, and you can see all the wonder kids and the hidden gems.
Okay.
Yep.
That's legit. I hadn't even. That is hilarious. And I assume Madden. I'm sure FIFA does the same thing, but Madden hires people to go and scout them, and then they come back with their, stats and their grades and everything. Then we have another one here. We have which card should we get graded, base, numbered, or inserts?
Oh, okay. That's very tough. I mean, it really depends on players and brands, and I don't know.
I would say most important thing about getting graded is make sure that it's in good shape.
Yeah, that's a number one, honestly.
And make sure that it's, if you're going to PSA, that it's like at least a $25 card.
To touch on that real quick is what drives the value of a base card, because a base card is pretty common, especially with print runs. So what drives the value of a base card is going to be putting a slab on it. It's going to add a rarity level to it. It's going to add a pop report to it. Where an insert already has a serial number on it, that's going to give somebody a rarity. So I feel like the multiplier you get on a base card tends to exceed the multiplier that you're going to get on a number card.
Definitely.
Because the number card has already got some kind of rarity, and a number card more than likely is going to be something that a collector is shooting to buy, where a base card is going to be something that an investor is looking to buy.
Very good.
Exactly.
Because if someone has a base rookie of Jason Tatum in their collection, but they're just a collector, not an investor, how many bases rookie cards do you need of Jason Tatum? You would like a numbered card of him next,
Absolutely.
Yeah.
So is it parallel or inserts? And inserts,
they've been starting to pick up in other sports.
yeah, they've started to pick up some because base cards have gotten really expensive. So I think the price of base cards is pulling up inserts. If you can't get a Luka second year silver prism, but you can get a optic My House, that looks cool. It's all coming down to what really looks cool. If an insert looks like crap, it's probably not going to be very valuable. But if an insert looks awesome, like some of those stained glass cards or those My House or those comic book cards.
Yeah. Oh my God, the marbles. Beautiful.
Yeah, they just are collectible because they look really good. To be honest, they're aesthetically appealing, and that's what's making people buy them.
Yeah, I agree, and I think it comes down. I think that's a really good point about base versus numbered, because numbered already has kind of a number to it. But last question here. Sorry guys, we just we're running over on time here, but E-Man asks, how do players here it was, explain what makes defensive players good.
A lot of things.
I assume if I take this into sports card, the actual card flipping aspect of it, like what makes them investable?
Oh, what makes a defensive player investable? Well, most likely, like Sergio Ramos, or Chiellini, Virgil van Dijk. Now, a lot of people of Champions League high accolade. The center back, they've got to be very large frame, still excellent footwork, still have, nowadays a lot of the defensive lines for soccer, they pass it high up to the midfield to the attacker. So, and especially with the fullbacks, because Jurgen Klopp for Liverpool, he made a gegenpressing popularized all around soccer. So left back and right back, that's why they're so high in price now, because they go up the pitch to the opposing third, and they play a lot of attacking over there. Alphonso Davies, Trent Alexander-Arnold.
Yeah.
Right. So fullbacks will probably be more popular because they are super offensive. But defensive players, don't sleep.
Speed. Speed is what makes a defensive player good, because if you don't have that speed, you can't get up the field and play attacking.
Yeah. Well, not necessarily.
Davies runs like a cheetah, so he can get up the field.
Yeah. And
so he has a lot more to offer than just being your traditional defensive back. And then you got guys that are just greats who may someday, if you're talking from an investing standpoint, like a Thiago Silva, strictly a defensive type guy, but one of the better, of the last 15 years. That's what I've read up on him. I haven't done a lot of research on defensive players. When it comes to being technical and things like Brandon, that's just not my gig. I'm more into the soccer. To be honest, for the investment, he loves the sport. Before it was popular, I started loving the sport because I wanted to become an investor, and the investment actually made me like it. The investing in it made me realize what I was missing out on. Yeah. As opposed to already liking it and then becoming an investor. Right. I was an investor, then I was like, wait a minute, this is actually pretty cool. As opposed to somebody who was like, man, soccer's awesome, I'm going to invest. Yeah, that's partially true for me too. I definitely thought about it from an investing point. And now that my 3-year-old loves playing, as she calls kickball, but we kick the soccer ball around, and that's made me want to get into it more and kind of like actually learn how to kick the ball around a little bit, so I don't look like a doofus out there. But and then obviously the investing part, I'm already doing baseball and basketball, so might as well strike while the iron is hot, as they say. But yeah, guys, this has been fun. You guys are two of, in my opinion, the more knowledgeable guys in the soccer card, area. So I appreciate you guys both coming on. Again, Brandon Chung, go subscribe to his channel. Flipping Steve, go subscribe to his channel. If you're not yet subscribed here on my channel, LessAlex, make sure to hit that subscribe button. Get in that comment section.
Yeah, Full Count Media. Yeah.
FullCountMedia.com. That's my website.
That's right.
Brandon's wrote an article. Flipping Steve, maybe one day we'll get his knowledge dropped on the website. But thank you everybody for watching. If you're listening, make sure to give this a 5-star review on all the podcast apps. And if you really, really want to help the content out, check out the Patreon over there at patreon.com/LessAlex. Great way to just support the content. But yeah, everybody, thank you so much for watching. Hope you guys enjoyed this soccer card special of the LessAlex podcast. It was awesome. Thanks to everybody in chat asking questions. I know we didn't get to all of them, but we might be able to do this more as long as these guys will be on the show. But yeah, thanks everybody so much. And until next time, keep cracking packs, keep collecting. I'll see y'all in the next one.